Hello, everybody. It's really nice to see you. A lot of names I know from Germany. Hi, Thomas. Hi, from Spain. Hi, Yolanda. Nice to see you. Angela, Laia. Okay. Rosa Maria, Tanya, Julius from Germany. Hey, hi, everybody. It's nice to see you. Walter, nice to see you too. From Berlin, yes? Hamburg.
In London.
Oh, yeah, London. Yes, sorry, Walter. You're right. Okay, very international audience today. Okay, first of all, say hello to you. Welcome to the International HR Talks, which is a format we have started in January. Every 2 weeks, we are presenting a very special person related to the new ways of working, to the future of work, to technology, and to people. And today I'm so happy and honored to present you to Pero Mićić, which is for me a very special and important person. So we met 25 years ago when I worked in a German company for professional vocational trainings, which was the #1 company at that time. They were very innovative, based nearby Koblenza. And we met there and you did a future workshop with us 25 years ago. And I learned you were the first and the one and only future manager in the world or in Europe. I'm not quite sure. Now you don't like the word future manager because you are much more. You're not only looking into the future. I remember very well your parachutes, the different colors. I remember you gave a seminar in Barcelona, and I think Thomas was there too. Is it possible, Thomas?
Yes? Yes, I was there. Yes.
Yeah, you were there in 2002, I think. Yes. 2007, because you presented, Pero, what will the future be like in 2017, 10 years later. So imagine how many years have gone by. Okay, Pero, we are now living in completely different times. Uncertainty will be part of our way of living. We don't know what's happening tomorrow. We have seen that during the last 2 years. And we have to live with uncertainty for the future, yes? And to be prepared and let us surprise what will come in the future. Maybe we can prepare, and what you're telling us today, Pero, how to prepare ourselves and our children and our employees for the new jobs for the future. And this is an introduction to say hello to you and thank you again. And start, Pero. Thank you.
We're experiencing a war in Europe. And thinking about this, how did it happen? Why did it happen? Is there a way to prevent such things from happening? I came back to my pretty old and initial idea when I started my business, that every person and every organization shall do everything and anything they can to have a bright future in front of them. Because having a bright future in front of you means you are more motivated, you live longer, you're healthier, and you're more productive. So my motto was always have a bright future. Make sure that you have a bright future. And my question today is, do you have a bright future business? Does Russia have a bright future? I don't think so. I think that bright future for Russia, at least for Russian leadership, but for a large part of the population, is just the restoration of the past. And when this is the only picture of the future, then there is no way to do without looking into history, searching for the point in time where your country was glorious, and then you need to restore it and be aggressive towards others. The way to solve that is to help Russia, to help the Russian people, to see a bright future that is cooperative, that is positive, that is really progressive in a certain way. So that's just a note on the current situation. But nevertheless, I started my business, which was always a bright future business for me, 31 years ago. And the mission is to support and equip leaders to envision and build a bright future for their business. Looking into the future, we all have heard about those technologies that are going to change the world. And nothing of this is really new. When was the first time you could have attended a conference on artificial intelligence? When would you say was the year? It was the year 1956. Most of us were not born then. It was the conference on artificial intelligence in Dartmouth. One agenda item was neural networks. So everything that we talk about today has been around for a long time already. It's nothing new. What is new is the significance, is the power of change that we're experiencing. If we look at what people can do, and since we are in an HR context here, looking at what people can do, I can easily make the thesis that everything a human can do cognitively, AI, can today or soon do better. It's not really true. It's not really true today, and it's not really true in its entirety, but it's useful to take this as a general assumption. When we look through the capabilities of humans, then the first thing we can do is to recognize. It's like with a computer. We have sensory input. We can see things, we can hear things, we can smell, touch, taste things. But AI, in virtually any respect, can do it better. So yes, we can walk through a construction site and check the state of the construction. Is it like it was planned or not? And it would take us hours or days. And I can support this where you go just one time, or a robot goes one time through the construction site, and it can tell if the singular socket on the singular wall is at the right place at the right time, and it's the right type. So we have a comparison of the plan and the actual state of the construction site within a couple of minutes. No human can do that. No human can recognize, as well as AI can do it, the lie in the face of a person. So in the future, I would like to have on TV or on my computer screen, when a politician delivers a speech, I'd like to have kind of a traffic light there where it tells me, yeah, virtually true, majorly true, or, well, there is a kind of misinterpretation there, or red, pants on fire, it's really a lie. I would like to see that, because saving the truth would really have very good implications for our future, and maybe it's going to save our planet in its entirety. When we have recognized, we can learn, and what we do for learning is really massive. So we train people by the millions and by the billions each and every day. Every person has to go to school, to professional training, and we can learn anything. So we're not born with the ability to construct planes or submarines or something, but we do learn it. AI, in a very specialized way, can look at a game like chess and not just beat a human, but by playing 4 hours against itself, beat the best chess computer that we were able to build 28-0. Not a human, our best chess computer, 28-0. It took us decades of development, and it just looked at the game, played for 4 hours, and beat it 28-0. And this happened 4 years ago. So the next thing is we can consult, we can share knowledge, we can help people, we can coach people. But if I, one day in the future, suffer from a severe disease, I want an AI to look at all the scientific medical documentations and articles, and on the basis of my genetic profile, recommend the first best, second best, and third best therapy for me. Why do I want that? Because I know it works, because I know it's possible. And it's important to me. I want a computer to do this, I want an AI to do this, but I also want the person, and I also want the person to help me with this. I want to look into eyes that I can trust. So yes, I do want to see a human communicate with me, to help me, to tell me, is it plausible? Shall I look somewhere else? But I also want this human to use such tools. I don't want a professional to be ignoring the world of AI, the world of robotics, the world of any kind of new technology. So yeah, we need to be human, and we'll always want to talk to humans. This is what our role in the future is, be the interface to other people. But we need the professionals who embrace this. So it's not, the worst thing we could do is watch these technologies grow and then be kind of falling behind. What we need to do is sit on those technologies. When they improve and they get better and they get more productive, we get better for our customers, our patients, our clients, and we get more productive. The next thing we can do is, of course, communicate. We are seeing developments where you cannot distinguish whether this face is really a human or an AI. So we'll be having interfaces that can talk to us, talk with us. We'll be having personal, intelligent bots that have listened to us for years, read everything that we wrote, and can give us feedback on what we do. They would be the best therapists because they have all the knowledge of all the interventions that a psychotherapist could do, that a good coach could have. Immediately, I don't need to wait for an appointment, immediately and almost for free. Can AI be creative? Some people claim that, well, the new things only come from humans. Well, it depends. If it is describable how innovation works, if it's describable how you construct a building, then AI can ask me questions, offer me options, can show me, if it asks me, what kind of style of building do you want to have? And I don't know anything about styles of building. It can show me pictures, movies, 3D animations, and help me decide. So it can do a perfect consultation. After 14 questions, I have 800 options. After 7 more questions, I have 3 options, and I have experienced a perfect consultation. So AI can be creative in building the building and help me to build the building. It can also be creative in finding the best way to design a part. So yeah, of course, AI can be creative. What we need to do is to make sure that we are the bosses, that we are the ones who set the goals, that we are the ones who set the rules. It is an endeavor, it is a challenge, but this is what we are there for. Millions, if not billions, of people work in kind of a job in administration. When we look at what blockchains can do, when we look at what smart contracts can do, we arrive at not just the idea, they are already implemented, the decentral autonomous organizations, which is basically entire organizations like an insurance without any people working for it. Can we make decisions? Yeah, of course, we will still decide, but we're going to be helped with decisions because we humans, I think it's 200 and something biases we have identified that humans have. We're going to get help, and we are already getting help in deciding which patients to treat first and in which order. Are we going to act? Are we going to work physically? Yeah, we will, if we want to. It's going to be a matter of choice. So if we look at all these capabilities, then what are we supposed to do in terms of work? And if we look at the literally hundreds of trends, and I'm not going to cover them all, I'm just sharing the map of trends, then we need to acknowledge and embrace that all the changes that are about to come are really substantial. I've been saying this like for 30 years, for decades, and others have said this for even more decades. But we are in a time of radical change. We are in a time of radical innovation, of radical disruption. At the end, all this is helping to improve the quality of life for all people. But in the shorter term, we're going to see jobs disappear. It is said that 2/3 of students, 2/3 of pupils in schools will work in jobs that we still not know about today, that we still have not invented. If this is true, what are the jobs they're going to do? And is our understanding of work really the latest, best idea of work? Why do we fear AI? Why do we fear robots? Why do we fear whatever technological innovation? Because we fear to lose our jobs, because we fear to lose our role where we get money to work for someone's goals in order to live our lives. We need to rethink what work is. We need to rethink what income is. If in an imaginary world, maybe a very visionary and utopian world, if we all had those tools work for us, then we would just do more of the things that we just love to do. So it's because of our concept of work that we fear innovation, that we fear disruption, or that many people, maybe you don't feel it, but the people around you do fear. So why do we have such a hard time to understand and to deal with the future? Because we come from a time when the future did not count. We come from a time when everything that was good for us felt good to do. Drink, eat, make babies was always good. And we just followed our impulses and our motivations. And everything that was bad for us, we didn't do because it looked dangerous, or it smelled bad, or it looked aggressive, or it yelled at us. So we didn't do it. We ran away. We could live purely on our intuition, purely on our impulses. And we have created a world ourselves where it would be very good to have a very powerful picture of yourself, your future me, and in an organization, your future we, so that it can consult with you and tell you what the right thing would be. Because oftentimes it is what really feels good is bad for your future. What really is hard to do is good for your future. So it's the other way around. And evolution was too slow to help us. So even if we look into people's brains and we tell people, be in the moment, just live in the here and now, then there's much going on in our brain. It's very emotional. If we tell them, think about the future, then we think about all those robots and technologies and everything that we've seen in movies, and we're pretty emotional still. But if someone tells us, imagine yourself, imagine your company, your family, your business in the future, then there's nothing much going on in the brain anymore. So why is that? Because we have a dopamine system that makes us want things. It's not dopamine that is shed when we do something good. It's to make us want something good. That's what dopamine is for. So I call it the substance of the wanting and the substance of the disaster. And if we ask neurologists, is there a way out of this trap? Yep, there is one powerful step. Make your future more important. Oh, sorry, I chose the wrong language. So this means the future must determine much more what we do today. So we have a brain that is, well, built for the present, and it's been trained in the past. So everything that we decide is dominated, is colonized by what we've experienced so far. Looking into the future in an even faster future is more and more dangerous and not helpful at all. So we're just pretending to make decisions on a good basis. No, we're not. We do have a brain for the future. We always had, but it is not trained. Evolution did not need a brain that is able to deal with a complex environment and with a future that is, at the one side, undescribable and always surprising, complex. And on the other side, we make decisions that determine the rest of our lives. We build a home for 30 years or for 20 years. We have assumptions, of course. So we are betting on a future. We develop products, we build new factories, we build offices, we develop software. That's all betting on the future. So we have a hard time to deal with those things together. What the neurologists tell us, which is the escape from the short-term trap, is have a bigger share of your brain and your heart determined to think about the future and to act for the future, because only then you would have something, your future self and your future we, that can consult with you. So that means in a company, in a team, most companies have something like a mission statement or a vision statement or values or something. We all know that's important. We all know it's in the textbook. So we all write something down. But usually it doesn't mean much. Usually it's just there to, check it off. Yeah, we did it. If we have this situation, and most companies are in this situation, the bigger the company is, the more it is in this situation. Then everybody thinks he or she knows the right direction. And we know from physics that this doesn't work. That's not productive. Instead, what we should do, we should think about our ways, our possible ways, we call it candidates into the future, decide for one, and have people look into the same direction. It's the same thing that you do in a private relationship. If you have a partner and you're looking into the same direction together, then you have a good future, or at least the possibility of a good future. If you look in two different directions, you don't. So if AI can do anything and robotics can do the physical part, what are we supposed to do? Thinking strategically would mean, okay, then let's focus on our strengths. And where is our strength? It's a pretty simple message. Our strength is to be humans. Our strength is to be excellent humans, because there AI just doesn't stand a chance against us. Their robots don't stand a chance against us. There we need to focus on. And what means excellent human? So my list is not complete. I'm just offering an idea. Of course, what we used to call 100 years ago social intelligence, now we call it emotional intelligence, but it's still true. Ability to understand other people's emotions and your emotions and act accordingly and optimize them. In the world, we don't see that very much. Of course, communication skills, logical thinking. If we looked at, well, again, what happens in Ukraine, that's not the result of logical thinking. That's the result of biased thinking. Anything that we see as problems, short-term trap problems, short-term thinking, is always illogical thinking. What we saw during the pandemic, a lack of logical thinking. Self-leadership. We all know what's good. We all know, and there is a brain in the future part in our brain knows what's right. Have you ever made bad New Year's resolutions? No, they're always good. Where do we fail? In leading ourselves towards implementing them, towards reaching those goals. So self-leadership is, even more in a complex world, a crucial qualification. Changeability. We need to get rid of this fear of change that we have. That's a matter of training. That's a matter of rewarding people to change. And it's a matter of having something to change for. We talk too much about change. We don't talk enough about the reason to change, what for to change. Ethical behavior, of course, that's an excellent human. To me, it's also entrepreneurship. If we all rely on others to create jobs, we're going to be doomed. We need to train, we need to build people for entrepreneurship. What we do instead is train people to be good employees still. So as I said, my list is not complete. And the bad thing is that in school, also in universities, we still do not train those skills. Not even one, really. There are some efforts, there are some good professors, and it differs between countries. But where I live in Germany, we don't train that stuff. We don't do it. Even if we know, and even if we have been knowing this for decades. None of these skills is new, but this is where we need to focus, because those skills are also flexible skills. So we don't need to predict the future or to assume the future in a very correct way in order to know that these qualifications are the ones that we're going to need. Some more, some less. We don't need to learn foreign languages, maybe except for English, because AI is going to help us translate in real time. If we love a language, of course, learn it, but don't do it for professional reasons. It doesn't make any sense. Know what to focus on, know what to learn. Some companies have managed in recent years to inspire people. And Tesla, as a company, has inspired people first with electric cars. And how do you get people to be inspired about the future? How do you motivate people if the future of jobs is so dark? Well, you offer them something to work on that is really compelling, that is really fascinating, that is really attractive. Tesla announced this product, a human robot, a real human robot. We've been like dreaming and fearing it for centuries now. But if there's one company that probably is going to manage to do it, maybe later than they think, it's going to help us to do the work that is boring. It's going to help us do the work that is dangerous. Physical labor, they say, is going to be a matter of choice. It's going to be your hobby, or you won't do it. And as soon as this product was announced, this is what happened with applications for AI experts. This is where they announced it, August 18th. They gave people something to be amazed by, to be fascinated by, to be motivated for. And they increased 100x applications from AI experts. Is it just a fad? Is it just a trick? I don't think so. Could be, but it just shows. When I talk about build a bright future business, then this of course means customers like to buy from you at good prices, and investors want to invest, and your business model is hard to copy. But at first, it means have a company that is creating a bright future for customers and for humankind alike. Have something to work for, and then attract those people. So is it just this crazy thing with a humanoid robot? No. We have more companies like Prellis Biologics. They say, we're solving the shortage of human organs and tissues for transplantation. We're going to save millions of lives. We're going to end suffering of even more millions of people. This is what we work for. Or Synchrem, to deliver safe neurotechnology, which is brain-computer interfaces that overcomes human limitations and enables growth. Or Planetary Resources, we aim to identify, extract, and refine resources from near-Earth asteroids so that the resource limitation that we have for more quality of life on Earth, which is, by the way, the only thing that should grow forever, we're going to extend this to asteroids. Or SpaceX, maybe the biggest mission you could have to make humankind a multiplanetary species. Can it be a smaller mission? Of course. Look at Yunus Business. What they say is, we harness the power of business to end poverty on Earth. So when I say build a bright future business, then to sum it up, it means get familiar with this idea of a bright future business. With maybe, it's not a birthright, but if people would ask me, I would say it's a birthright for a person, for a family, for a partnership, for a company, and for a country to have a bright future in front of them. And there's nobody else who's going to do it for you. As a leader, as an entrepreneur, I always tell people, this is the most important thing that you have to do, and it's the only thing you cannot delegate. If somebody else develops a bright future for your business, then you're not the leader. So, of course, get help, get ideas, have all your people be involved, but make sure there is a bright future in front of you. Elon Musk says, I'm just trying to think about the future and not be sad, which is the same thing. Let's think about the future and not be sad. Help Russia. It's not going to be Vladimir Putin. It's going to be someone else. But help Russia, help the Russian people have a bright future in front of them. That is cooperative. And let China have a bright future in front of them. Do this in your business and make sure that you train your people and that you attract people who are excellent humans, because this is the only field that's not going to be disrupted by robots or AI. Have a bright future.
This was fantastic as always, Pero. Thank you. We would like to hear more from you. It's really so inspiring, really. Fantastic.
You said 20 minutes, that's fine.
Yeah, but incredible.
We can talk, yeah.
So I suppose that there are some questions, yeah? Who wants to start? Oh, we have Maria from Mexico City. Maria, start, please.
Okay, I will. Thank you. I think it was an amazing, amazing presentation. A lot of thoughts in my mind. So I will have a question, because working in HR, you know, people are really worried about what's in it for me. So if AI will solve our lives, will be faster, quicker, better, more efficient, what's going to happen with people jobs? Is everybody going to lose their jobs? How can we redeploy? So this is a question that we have in all our employees' mind.
Yes, Maria, tell please from which company do you come? I think it would be interesting. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I work for still other companies, and I am based in Mexico City, and I'm responsible for all the HR function in Latin America.
Thank you, Maria.
Okay, what's the industry of your company?
It's a cosmetic company. It's a very important cosmetic company, skincare and makeup and fragrance.
Still out there.
Everything that I just showed concerning AI is narrow AI, and it's going to be narrow AI for a very, very long time still. So artificial general intelligence would mean that it really matches the human in anything. So narrow AI means it's specialized. It's specialized to do this, it's specialized to do this, it's specialized to do this. This is what we deal with now. This is what we're going to deal with in the course of the next years. Of course, if you add many, many narrow AIs, they're covering a lot of disciplines. What we are there for is to be the T in the T, is to be the horizontal bar, which is to overlook, which is to plan, which is to be the one that initiates, the one that identifies the problems to solve, that communicates with other humans. As long as we stay the bosses, and I'm sure we're going at some time in the future, I'm going to be 100 years old in 2067. So that is the time when we really need to have figured out how to stay the bosses on the planet, and not to make our last invention, as people say, with AI. But until then, we're dealing with pretty narrow AI. A broad AI is already autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles is going to change the world in almost any respect you can imagine. We underestimate this by far. We think, well, it's just about drivers. No, it's not just about drivers. It's about real estate. It's 2 weeks. Everybody, like on average, spends 2 weeks in a car. That's like 2 weeks more of your time that you have. Real estate prices are going to level off. So it's going to be very different. In any kind of business, our picture of the future needs to be the one that uses such technologies really maximized, and then cut back with the compromises, because then you can identify where central activities are still need to be made by humans. It's not going to be you're not going to kill all the jobs. You're not going to kill 50% of the jobs, but you're going to like it's going to eat up jobs from the lower end. It's going to really eat them up and abolish them. I said, it may be a romantic vision. Let's help people to be entrepreneurs. Let's help people to be shareholders. Let's make people to have maybe a not universal income, but maybe universal equity, so that they own the business. And if you own the business, then all this is pretty good for you. The actual problem, I believe, and this is not really actionable now, but we need to think about it, how to solve it. The actual problem is that people depend on jobs, and we shouldn't be depending on jobs. We should be depending on our capabilities. We should be depending on customers. We should be depending on how good we solve problems and fulfill wishes. And there's a very important rule. As long as people have problems and wishes, we are not going to run out of work.
Nice. Thank you, Pero. I would like to ask, there a very nice person here who was a speaker at the International HR Talk some weeks ago, Gustavo Medina from Miami. He's has built up environment, a metaverse environment in Miami. Have you got a question, Gustavo?
Hello, everyone. Was I here listening? I got late, sorry. But I mean, I got the last minute to the meeting. What a ton of them. I like the last comment, for example, that Pedro was talking about. It's easy. It's amazing the way I always thought that we should be surrounded by professionals. I don't believe in the traditional job contract way we are actually doing things. And sometimes I speak to students. Sometimes in the United States, most of the time in Spain, and I always told them that I mean, they have to trust and to rely on their own capabilities and knowledge and you know, and willingness to create, to learn, to teach, to build, instead of, I mean, relying on if someone is hiring me, someone is firing me. It's a different thing, no? So it's not the question. It's more about, I believe on time we will be a bunch of professionals working together sometime, joining into a company, nor into the payroll, but as professional, rather than the way we are actually doing today. I don't know if Paris have a comment about that.
Mm-hmm. Paris agreeing totally.
Yeah, he was saying.
So if we free ourselves from our ancient concepts, and then the future is still going to be bright. Everything in the past, virtually and literally, was worse than today. I can't think of many things, at least, that used to be better in the past, in the big picture. We cut world hunger in half. Okay, the Corona crisis changed that for the worse, but in the long term, we will eliminate hunger on Earth, thirst as well. We're going to increase quality of life for all virtually. Do we have a problem with inequality? Yeah, we do. Are we going to solve that? I think so. I hope it's not going to be a revolution. I hope we're going to find better ways. But again, the inequalities are because there are people, and this is a pretty Marxian idea, there are people who own equity and the means of production, and there are people, most people don't. So it's a bad construction of our system.
Of course, yes. Maybe we have here a CEO from a German UK company in Spain. Thomas, have you got a question, or could you present yourself, please?
Yeah, of course.
No.
Ask.
That's okay. Silvia does that normally, so I'm okay with that. No problem.
Interactive.
Thank you, Silvia. Thank you, Silvia, for that. So Pero, first of all, thank you for the presentation. Really inspiring. Yeah, I'm a CEO of a pharma company, German, English, and Spanish based. I would like to go to an area which is a little bit more generic, because you said that you would like that you could see from a politician making a speech if there's a truth, if it's not true, maybe a little bit true. So what is truth in the IA world about? Because I think we are in a really big crisis of truth today, in today's world. So how will this develop, and how do you see that?
People usually say, well, how can you know what truth is? Because people argue all the time about what truth is. And to me, it would already help if we would have the layers that we use for scientific reasoning. So what you can measure and what you can count and weigh. I would start with those, because people keep lying about how many buildings have been bombed in Kiev. How much money has the US not gotten during the Trump time from NATO? These are things that can be proven. And I believe that we need truth technologies, because if we rely on humans again, then again, it's going to be biased. So we can have 3, 4, 5 fact checkers at once. And of course, this would help. What we will probably not solve during our lifetime is people disagreeing because of their values and emotions and their immaterial, their metaphysical criteria for truth. So if we could save the first 2 layers, the physical one and the countable, measurable one, then this would be helpful. And I think that this can be done neutrally. Can we ever achieve like the truth, whether you should have a free economy or a directed economy, a social economy, or I don't believe we're going to solve that during my lifetime. But the first 2 layers, I would really hope that we can.
Interesting. I agree with you on that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I would like, if you don't mind, Tatiana, if I'm asking you. Yes, sure, you have a question. She's based in Germany too. Tatiana, could you ask some questions to Pero, please?
Silvia, are you talking about Tatiana Zhigulina or about any other Tatiana?
Tatiana Sigulina.
Yes, sure, with pleasure. Just since that I cannot share my
Don't worry. Yes, Tatiana, hi. Have you got a question to Pero, maybe from your company, for your company, how to build excellent people for your company?
How to build excellent people to our company? That's an amazing question, but it was not completely about this presentation. And honestly, when I was listening, it's a really high level of presentation, very interesting, very inspiring. But in the same time, in background, I had a lot of questions. And I think that I will be maybe a little bit more direct than Thomas, asking them. Because, for example, about Musk, when we are talking, I see where we are landing now with Tesla. When he started his artificial intelligence for Tesla, it was on one point. And now when he is answering his clients, for example, in Twitter, he tells that car knows better than client want to do. And for me, it looks a little bit how Tesla can know better me, how my car can know better than me, what sound should be in my car, what do I need to do. And I'm questioning, just the beginning. And we are leading with answers like this. What will be the next step? And honestly, how we can make this judgment of artificial intelligence, that it moves in the right direction, that it would not push us with time. So for me, building artificial intelligence, we also need to think how we will keep it under control.
Yeah, yeah. Artificial intelligence is, as most technologies, dual use technology. So you can use it for crime, you can use it for military purposes, you can use it to harm people. Absolutely, no question. When we look at autonomous vehicles, so what we do as humans is we have 2 cameras, we have a gimbal, so we know how to balance, we have a brain, we have our physical means of reaction, and the simple rule is, if AI is going to be used for autonomous vehicles, then it's only going to be used if it causes 10 times less accidents. If it is not causing 10 times less accidents, it's not going to be used. So sometimes regulation is good. And the lawmakers are really going to watch this very, very critically, because there are other players in the car business that will fall behind when Tesla manages to do this. And Tesla is the most likely player to do this, maybe some Chinese competitors, because Tesla is making the cars capable of driving anywhere. Waymo, we're claiming to build the world's most experienced drivers. They can just drive in a city, and as soon as the car is supposed to go outside the city, it doesn't know what to do. So we have 2 cameras. Such a car has 8 cameras, and the 9th in the car. It doesn't drink. It doesn't need the half second in order to react. It can see 360 degrees. It can by far see more, calculate faster. It is not in a bad mood. It is not tired. It is, in an economic sense, it is very cheap. So today, no car can do this. No one. If we look at the exponential development, then I'm pretty confident that I made a video about this, but just in German, that I believe that 2030, like in 8 years, is going to be the time when autonomous cars start really to grow or to prevail. Until then, we're going to discuss, we're going to test, we're going to see what happens. But what are the consequences? We have 1.3 million people killed on the roads globally every year. 1.3 million people. So if it meets the promises that it's 10 times better, maybe it's going to be 100 times better, but 10 times better, we could save like 1.1 million lives each and every year. We could prevent all those accidents, even people being injured, which is really in the millions. We're going to have 2 weeks more time. We're going to save the environment, because we need maybe 20% of the cars, maybe 15% of the cars to cover everything that we need for A to B transport. It's going to be a lot cheaper. So the benefit for quality of life is huge. Is it in the phase that where we are now, is it dangerous? It might be. But compared with even today, where we have level 2, it's not level 5, where you can sleep, where we have level 2 of autonomy or level 2 of automation, even there, Tesla manages to have, I think, 3 or 4 times less accidents per kilometer than without the autopilot. So to me, with more senses, eyes, with faster reaction, and maybe one thing is a car learns that if you see an old lady in a wheelchair chasing a goose on the street, then this is a situation that nobody of us has ever encountered. But this car is going to learn it and how to deal with it. And it's going to tell millions of other cars how to deal with it. And each and every car is going to learn. Each and every car is going to learn how to, well, is there a hole in the street or something? And so they're going to be very fast in learning and understanding the environment, so that there is no human that can really learn to drive that well. Not today, but we are about to do that. Is it possible that autonomous driving fails? Yeah, it is possible. I'd say the likelihood that it fails is very small. I would invest in, and I do invest in companies that that drive this. So it's going to be better, but it's really awkward if we think about getting into a car without a steering wheel and telling the car, get me to the airport, and I'm paying maybe 20 cents per kilometer. It's going to feel really awkward, like for 3 months, and then we're going to get used to it.
Okay. Pedro, I have a last question to you. We are here in an HR forum. What can you recommend to employees and to young people how to train themselves for the professions of the future?
Well, this is, then I would repeat my core message, which is learn and train to become an excellent human. In addition, get involved in a technological field. Okay. It doesn't matter which one, because you're going to learn more and forget more than you ever can imagine. But get involved and learn something that is technological, even if it's just IT. But in order to just train your brain. If in terms of languages, I said don't learn any language except for English for professional reasons. Of course, it is useful to speak an exotic language. I speak like the languages that were used in, or that are used in former Yugoslavia. I do have certain perspectives that are funny when I look at things. When this is an AirPod, and what I hear pod is the floor. So I look at this differently than a person that does not speak Serbian or Croatian or something. But learn how to deal with technology, become an excellent human, and I would recommend to really use what companies should be using. What is my mission in life? Towards a mission. Like, there are beautiful concepts like the Ikigai from Japan. Really use that. Then, what is my positioning? How am I special? And it doesn't need to be a decision for all of your life, but ask the question and have at least ideas. And what is my current vision? And vision is like a periodic construction site, so it always needs to evolve, and experiment a lot. And maybe learn how to invest, which is basically it's very simple, but most people have not gotten the advice that it's maybe 5 sentences. I didn't. Later, we're facing a huge retirement crisis all over the world, basically. To learn how to invest and start a business, no matter what you do, even if it's just a side business, start a business.
Peter, you made us feel everybody special this afternoon. I feel special to have listened to you, and I stay with that expression. We have to try to be and form excellent people. I liked it a lot. Excellent human beings. I'm very happy to have you here today. We are going to share this presentation, if you allow. And really, thank you very much, Pero. I hope to invite you for a lunch very soon when I come to Eltville. Thank you, really. Or you to Barcelona. Okay. And thank you, really. I feel honored to have you had with us today. Thank you.
Have a bright future. And if you have 2 more questions, just write to me.
Okay. Thank you.
And connect on LinkedIn.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pedro.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Silvia. Bye.